Something for you. Hope you enjoy it. Remember to smash those likes, subscribes, shares. You know how it is. We're basically going to go through this and watch it together. It's kind of like a premiere, except I really doubt we're going to see too much price action until we are on the cusp of that. And it's not that a difficulty adjustment directly impacts price. I really just think it's more of a game theory thing where big actors, after all this sideways trading, are going to look to take advantage of something happening. And we're looking for the same thing on July's open, as we had the quarterly Q2 close and we had June's monthly close. And July opened and Q3 opened. We're looking at that as a catalyst for some volatility. And I think the double dip for me on this is that you guys saw the thumbnail, you see the title. It's going to be really easy to freak people out over this because they don't know what it is. And if they see biggest thing ever, they're going to drive emotion. They're going to whip up some kind of emotional response. That's always what they want. They always want an emotional response because emotional actors don't make rational decisions. They don't make decisions that are in their best interest. They make decisions that are in the interest of the state they're in. So I think it's going to get taken advantage of. That's my hypothesis. Still do have bullish divergence on our lows here as our price lows came down and our RSI lows came up. That's bullish divergence. That is a piece of evidence to make a bullish case. What I do like on the 4 hour is somewhat of a rounding bottom. This is the most similar thing on the chart I see. Something like this. Money flow on the 4 hour actually still looking healthy even though our momentum is not. That's a lot easier to see what I was talking about, rounding bottom there on RSI. That's much cleaner. Hourly, you can see that rounding. Money flow is negative on the hourly. This look to be rolling over. That would be pleasant. And to me, that's showing this is likely going to be some kind of local swing low. Likes are really important to YouTube, not to me. I don't care about likes. YouTube shows us to more people depending on how much engagement the stream gets. Likes are engagement, subscribing's engagement. So I appreciate you guys. Really does help get our content in front of more eyes. Let's, yeah. Also, join the Discord. We were totally shadow banned at the start of this episode. Hasn't happened in a while. YouTube not sending out alerts, not showing our stream to people. If you're in Discord, you'll always get the alerts when we go live. Educational content, it's free, but really it's the best way to keep up with everybody and everything going on. And let's just round out the shill. Check out the Patreon. If you're looking to invest in yourself, upgrade your trade. It's the start of the month. It's the best time to sign up. Comes with daily publishes of technical analysis, trade setups, macro market analysis, news interpretation, all kinds of goodies. I put a lot of work into it, so check it out. 50% of you say that mining becoming more profitable is bullish for price. I would agree because it is very common to see difficulty increasing with price during a rally before it reverses. I think we can apply that logic and say that becoming more profitable is likely good for price, and there is reasoning as well behind that. If you're a miner and you're making a thicker profit margin, you don't have to sell as much of your mined rewards to cover your costs as you would if the profitability was lower. Looking at our wick highs here, we see 1, 2, just near miss, hits to our trend. We broke our trend, rejected from, looks like that hourly resistance there. And now we have touched the back of the trend line. A bounce from here would be great. Be a nice bullish bounce, and guess where I would aim? Probably right here. If we can break that hourly resistance 33,782, I would look for that monthly, quarterly open price to be tested. To close a nice bullish engulfing candle here, this is just the hourly. But that could translate out to the 4. And maybe you see it on the 4. That actually lines up really well. Would be the beginning or a good signal that we are looking to paint that inverse head and shoulders by breaking that neckline, back testing that neckline. You don't actually have to back test it. You typically do on head and shoulders patterns, and then making a measured move. Speaking of that measured move, I swear if it lines up with that open, that even looks right. Now I'm like pretty confident this is how it's going to play out. So we have this little rounding bottom here, right? And we can even see that rounding on this price action recently. An inverse head and shoulders could play out and really complete that pattern. It just looks really good to me. That's interesting. And this candle is shaping up to be what we were speculating. After establishing on a short time frame this descending high trend, selling off, double bottom, finally broke that descending trend. That's a pretty clean back test of that high trend. This could be a bump and run kind of scenario. All we need to do is break that neckline. Say it again. Break that neckline. So that would look like this. I think that fits a bigger picture here of a rounding price action, which can be a sign of exhaustion in a market. Rounding, less rigid, less volatile price action. I think that really appeals to my eye, at least. This looks really clean. Our 618 is right at that open, right where we're looking for price to go test 35. You can even see it playing out and continuing and forming a second head and shoulders. First neckline and second neckline. Back test would bring us like close to the next trend line. That would be really interesting to see something like that. I would love to see that. Well, I'm keeping my eye on it. I know what I'm watching for. Maybe we're seeing something like this. Maybe this is going to be part of a bigger, maybe something like this. Oh man, that one was way harder to edit because there was so much footage with I had to organize it because we had gone through so many ideas in that day. It was difficult. It was difficult. That actually was the wrong render, the wrong export. They were pretty similar though. The end there was a little different. There's a few, some of the clipping, some of like the transitions were smoother. I don't know. I must have opened the wrong one. But anyway, I think it's safe to say, ladies and gentlemen, exactly as predicted, right? Holy crap, did price really follow that projection there. Let's pull up the original. Where is the original? There it is. When you look at this, it's just ridiculous how it's like market makers were listening to the stream. We were back here. We hadn't even broken 33.8, 33.7 yet. Really the only deviation here at all was what happened on the initial right here. So we were looking, or I was looking. There you go. I was looking for it to break and then back test as support, as that is the good trade when you get these patterns. It didn't happen. Instead, we rejected from resistance again, broke through it, and then got right back on course. You can see it's almost this doodle, roughly where this horizontal line is where the difficulty adjustment triggered, where it executed. That's pretty tight correlation. It was within an hour. Within an hour, we saw, boom, just that green dildo. Boom, second green dildo. A few days later. Let's make it 3. Let's make it Traso. That is 340 watching. Not bad for July 4th. If Bitcoin does what I think it's about to do here, I have a strange feeling we're going to have a lot more than 140 watching. May not take very long. This close 2.5 hours and you can feel the energy. You know, this, maybe we can even throw this at that concept. Bitcoin is shy. Bitcoin doesn't like being watched. And what better timing than when everybody is out setting off fireworks, getting drunk, spend time with their family. Exactly as predicted. Exactly. Don't get sold off here. Make me look stupid.